Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in this emergency video. So since the price of Bitcoin is showing a clear sign of weakness, the question here is the pullback over? And if it's not, then where we might be possibly heading? Because if you have watched my video from today, guys, you saw this coming because I showed you with this very simple example, non-failure swing. Since the price of Bitcoin has failed to find support at this S1 line, S2 line also got broken, we even came across this point F area, and now we were actually expecting more of a range bound type of scenario to play out, just like here from past Bitcoin price action before choosing an actual trend direction. And why did I show you this kind of scenario for Bitcoin and more of a range bound type of price movement around this range? Because I showed you, according to this Y curves reaccumulation phase, the price usually forms this double top type of scenario where it sees this price retracement and long-term consolidation before choosing an actual trend duration. And in that case, if this is a reaccumulation phase, we should be continuing this rally again here to the upper duration. And in our case, that's why we were saying we are actually expecting more of a range bound type of scenario. And I also showed you this bull trap that was being placed, which played out once, which played out twice, and also playing out right now, because we can see very clearly, guys, the price of Bitcoin showed this breakout type of scenario which didn't last it longer, and as soon as the price was unable to continue this rally here to the upside, we started this downward price movement. Similar scenario unfolded here, and right now if we look in our case, you can see, guys, this exact scenario could also be happening with us. So that's why what we want the price of Bitcoin not to do is to close below the previous low, because closing below the previous low will indicate a clear sign of weakness. And in that case, we could be also closing below the important previous low. And in this previous low, which is still making higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern, could be broken, and that will indicate an actual sign of danger for Bitcoin. And not just only this one here, guys, if you also look at the price action of Bitcoin in a weekly time frame, the trend does not look ready. I mean, if you look at the rising trend line, also the falling trend line, which was an extremely strong support around this 48,000 range, along with this 50 weekly moving average, now the price is below this support area. So if the weekly, which have just started, is going to be closing below this support line, then that is also going to indicate another sign of weakness. So what we want the price of Bitcoin to do is to find support above this 50 weekly moving average, rising trend line, and also this falling trend line that could be around 48,000 price area. And not just only this one here, guys, if you also want to find out the immediate short-term price target for Bitcoin, then you can use this CPR indicator. Let me show you that. So guys, now what we are going to do here in a 4-hour time frame, we are going to look at this price action using the CPR indicator, because according to the CPR indicator, since the price of Bitcoin was not able to find a proper support above this monthly S1 line that was lying around 50,500 range, now the lower S2 line is where we could be getting gravitated. So we know now if the trend of Bitcoin is going to continue lower, then 44,000 is where we could be getting gravitated, because not just only the CPR line, but if you also look at this scenario here in a bit different way, the price of Bitcoin is forming head and shoulder type of scenario as well, and the price has already broken out of this neckline area. So now if this is also going to continue here to the downside, then we are aware the price of Bitcoin could be getting gravitated around this 44,000 price area. So if this want to get invalid, all this bearish scenario wants to get invalid, then we have to overcome this falling trend line, because we can see very clearly this falling trend line here in a 4-hour time frame. Let me hide the CPR line. Is going to be one extremely important line of resistance. But if we do see some sort of a movement and price also breaking out of it, right, and flipping it to support, then we could see some temporary relief rally type of scenario playing out here in Bitcoin price action. So these are some of the interesting scenario I wanted to share with you in today's short video. Guys, if you enjoyed this kind of emergency update, then please hit the like button, and also for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.